Surprise, surprise, the United Nations Security Council releasing a new report on Monday accusing Israel of hundreds of grave violations in 2020 against Palestinian children, including allegedly, quote, maiming some 324 kids and attacking over 24 schools, at least one of which was confirmed by the UN as being used for military purposes. Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres likewise condemning the abuse of children in armed conflict. But neither the report nor other UN official statements address one of the region's most heinous and ongoing abuses of children in armed conflict. And that is, of course, Palestinian terror group Hamas's recruitment of child soldiers via their ongoing so-called summer camps. Joining me to discuss is media analyst with Honest Reporting, Emanuel Miller.
Thank you very much.
Emanuel, thank you so much for being here. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. First of all, what can you tell us about these camps? Who do they target for recruitment specifically in terms of children or otherwise? And how many campers are there?
Well, in terms of the numbers, we know that according to the Jerusalem Post correspondent, we have 50,000 who have signed up.
Just this year?
Just this year. So we have an astonishing number of kids who turned up. I've got the name, the Sword of Al-Quds battle. It's been named after the recent battle.
The Sword of Jerusalem, yeah.
Well, that is the Sword of Al-Jerusalem is the name of the battle, as Hamas called it, the war that was recently took place against Israel. So it's very clearly a military training camp. This isn't your average summer camp.
No, and we're seeing visuals on screen here, not your average summer camp.
Not at all. And we also see the outcome, because in recent coverage, we know just last month, there was this horrific New York Times front page cover of all the children.
The child victims.
The child victims. And it came out afterwards that at least one of them was affiliated with Hamas, and you can see him in images of him holding rifles and RPGs. Yeah. So clearly this is a fast track to serving in a terrorist unit.
All right, so how often, because I know that I myself have mentioned that these are long ongoing, and we've seen clips of these summer camps going for at least 5-10 years. How often do these camps run?
They run every single summer. This is totally routine. I would say this is allowed to continue as long as there isn't any public pressure against it. And there's not going to be any public pressure against this kind of thing until there's media coverage. And unfortunately, the media just doesn't take an interest in this. And it's a clear contravention of international law. And unfortunately, we have media coverage of suspected or insinuated Israeli war crimes when none actually exist. And this is a definite war crime. And yet media coverage is scant, if non-existent. So it's absolutely vital that the media get on this.
Why do you think that they're ignoring this? I mean, it's a pretty hot topic, I would say.
So we saw just last month a major UN official in Gaza was ejected effectively for confirming the Israeli narrative.
The accuracy of the strikes.
Yes, and we understand already that for many years that journalists are kept on a tight leash in Gaza, and that anything by Hamas, and they cannot say what they really observe. They have footage in the cameras destroyed if it's too damning for Hamas, for its public image. So they are aware of the fact that they have to toe a very tight, a very specific line. And if they give too much away, then Hamas won't allow them back in.
Well, even given that, I mean, they must not be too worried about it, given the fact that we have that footage to begin with. They seem to be using it as somewhat of an advertisement. Mm-hmm. In any case, Emanuel, thank you so much for being with us and sharing on this.
Thank you.